Most people will spend their entire lives paying for a building they will never own. And here is the part nobody talks about. The people who do own those buildings, they are not smarter than you. They are not harder workers. They are not some rare breed of financial genius. They just figured out how the levels work. Because real estate in America is not one game. It is 8 completely different games. And at every single level, the rules change. The banks change. The government changes. Even the way the law treats you changes. A person with 0 properties and a person with 10 properties are not playing the same sport. They are not even in the same stadium. And by the time we get to the top of this thing, what you are going to see is not inspiring. It is not a motivational story. It is a system. Cold, invisible, and working perfectly. Stay with me. Level 0, the renter. This is where most Americans start. And for a growing number of them, this is where they stay. Right now, roughly 36% of American households rent. That is over 44 million families. And the system has very specific plans for all of them. Here is what renting actually means in financial terms. Every month, you hand someone else money. That person uses your money to pay down a mortgage, a debt that is slowly converting into their wealth. The asset appreciates, the equity grows, the tax benefits flow to them. You get a place to sleep. That is not an accident. That is the architecture. Landlords, even small ones, can deduct mortgage interest, property taxes, depreciation, maintenance, insurance, and sometimes even travel expenses related to managing the property. A renter deducts nothing. A renter builds nothing. A renter is, in the language of finance, a pure consumer. And the banks love renters. Not because they lend to them, because renters keep the demand for rental housing high, which keeps the value of every property owned by their actual clients, the landlords, climbing year after year. You are not the customer at level 0. You are the product. But here is where it gets interesting, because the jump from level 0 to level 1, it is smaller than most people think, and it changes everything about how the system sees you. Level 1, the first home. You bought something. Maybe it is a modest 3-bedroom in a suburb outside Columbus. Maybe it is a condo in Phoenix. Maybe you stretched every dollar you had and scraped together a 3.5% down payment through an FHA loan. Does not matter. Because the moment you signed those papers, something shifted. The government started treating you differently. Suddenly, your mortgage interest is deductible. Your property taxes? Deductible. If you sell after living there 2 years, up to $250,000 of your profit is completely tax-free. $250,000. Tax-free. That is a benefit renters cannot touch. And the bank? The same institution that would have charged a renter nothing is now your partner. They lent you 4 or 5 times what you put down. They are allowing you to control an asset worth hundreds of thousands of dollars with a fraction of that in your pocket. That is leverage, and it is the most powerful force in real estate. Think about it this way. You put down $40,000 on a $200,000 home. The home goes up 10%. You did not make 10%. You made $20,000 on a $40,000 investment. That is a 50% return. Your bank's money did the heavy lifting, and you captured the gain. But here is the tension at level 1 that nobody warns you about. You are asset rich and cash poor. The home owns you as much as you own it. You are one job loss, one medical bill, one divorce away from watching that asset get reclaimed by the very institution that helped you buy it. And most first-time homeowners do not understand the cost of ownership. Property taxes that rise every year, HOA fees, maintenance that will, without fail, eat 2 to 3% of the home's value annually, the water heater, the roof, the AC unit that fails in August. You are in the game now, but you are playing defense. The people who have figured out what comes next, they are playing something entirely different. Level 2, the accidental landlord. This is where it starts getting interesting. Something happened. Maybe you got a new job in another city. Maybe you got married and needed more space. Maybe you just held the first home instead of selling it because the market looked uncertain. So now you are renting it out. And overnight, without planning it, you have become a landlord. This is where most people get their first real taste of what the wealthy have known for generations, because that property is now a business. Every single expense tied to it becomes a write-off. Mortgage interest? Deductible. Property management fees? Deductible. Depreciation? Deductible. Depreciation deserves a full stop. The IRS allows you to deduct the cost of a residential building, not the land, just the structure, over 27.5 years. Every year, on paper, you are losing value. In reality, the property may be appreciating, but on your tax return, you are taking a loss. This is one of the first places where the tax code starts quietly favoring people who own things over people who earn wages. A teacher making $60,000 a year pays taxes on every dollar she earns. A landlord making $60,000 in rent may show a paper loss after deductions and pay almost nothing. Same country, completely different America. Now you have two properties. You have passive income, even if it is modest. You have started to see how the numbers work, and a dangerous thought has entered your mind. What if you did this on purpose?